Where the hell did you get the idea of plucking him out of wherever he was? What was he doing?
Well, Michael Parks has always been one of my favorite actors. I mean, nobody was as cool as Bronson.
Oh, Bronson ruled.
He's the man.
Pack on the back of his bike going over that bridge.
Oh, yeah, exactly, man.
That's it, man.
No, it's like, I mean, God, if I was making movies back then, Michael Parks would have been the stars of them, all right? He was the man. And so I've always wanted to work with him for a long, long time. And the thing that's funny is the character he plays in Dusk Till Dawn, and the character he plays in Kill. It's the same guy. It's Texas Ranger Earl McGraw, and so I finally we finally cast him in me and Robert in Dusk Till Dawn, and that was the first time I'd worked with him. And it was funny because I write for Michael Parks now because most of my writing. It's supposed to be done fairly fast. It kind of has a His Girl Friday kind of patter to it, except for when Michael Parks talks. And then it's always just really slow and laconic, really stretched out.
He'll kind of look off and look around, and then the rest of the line will come out.
And then he always adds these little witticisms. I'm going to get higher in the Georgia pine. I'll tell you like the Lord told John. That stuff's great, Mike. Put it in there. So that was the first time, and then I put him in Kill Bill, playing the same guy. But I had one of these really interesting things that happened. To me, it's a very important day when you get together and you have a script reading with your cast, where everyone shows up and you sit around a table and you read the script for the first time with all the actors there. Now, invariably, there's always a few actors that can't make it. Now, that's okay. But in my movies, if you don't make it, somebody else did, and I'm going to notice it. And so I'm going to give your part to somebody else to read. And you know what? If I fall in love with them, you're out and they're in because they were there and you weren't.
Christ. Show up at Quentin's readings.
Yeah, no kidding. How do you not?
I know.
Sorry,
how do you?
I'm busy.
What else
that's
do you
part
have
of my
to
point.
do?
All right.
What else do you have to do?
You're obviously a brilliant dialogue writer. I mean, brilliant dialogue writer. Is there any piece of dialogue you can grab, or one section that you go that is something that I want to be on my head? Like one of the best things you've ever written dialogue wise?
Yeah, I would actually say. Oh yeah, I think hands down. Actually, I think especially as far as my monologues are concerned. I mean, as far as the who's on first kind of back and forth thing. That's up to y'all to say, yeah, this was my favorite. That was my favorite. But as far as my monologues are concerned, I think it's the Dennis Hopper monologue in True Romance, the Sicilians.
Oh my
where
God!
Where
Yes.
come from?
Stop.
That's the one. That's the one to beat. That's the one I know I haven't surpassed yet. But I'm writing a World War II kind of Dirty Dozen spaghetti western kind of thing, and I finally I got this one Nazi and he gives a monologue, and it was the first time. You know what? This is as good as that. I think I finally matched it. I don't know if I've topped it, but I think I finally matched it. But that's the one I'm writing now.
How great was Dennis Hopper's hand in that scene when he was just turning his hand left and right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Hold the rag.
That is good. Oh, but what I was thinking about Michael Parks though was the thing that he was there playing Earl McGraw, and the guy that I had cast as the Mexican pimp didn't show up. So I said, "Okay, Michael, why don't you take it?" And then he turned around and did it so great. And my whole thing was one, he just blew us all away. And then I was like, you know what? I've always said that Michael Parks is one of my favorite actors. Yeah, I mean, really, in the top. I've always said he's as good as Dustin Hoffman. He's as good as Pacino. But you know what? Let me put my money where my mouth is, because you cast Dustin Hoffman to play Willie Loman, then you're going to also pay to have him turn, makeup wise, and have him, be a whole other person, look like an old guy. You cast Al Pacino to be this far out dude, then you're going to pay the money to get the wig and all this stuff and create him to let him be that way. No one's ever done that for Michael Parks before. He's always had to just kind of be Michael Parks. So I go, well, let me spend the money. Let's get the right wig and the right this and the right that. Let's turn him into this old Mexican guy, because he would be fantastic in it. And really, it's one of the best performances I've ever in any of my movies.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
He's not Michael Parks.
It's one damn scene, but it actually is one of the best pieces of acting in any of my movies.
Yeah, does an amazing job. I also have to ask you, because you're here, all kinds of things I couldn't find on the internet about this. The Vega Brothers. There was this rumor that you were going to put out the movie The Vega Brothers about Michael Madsen and John Travolta's characters in some way, shape, or form. How it would be done is, beyond me. But is there any truth to that?
Well, I gotta say it's looking unlikely now.
Yeah.
All right.
They were supposed to be brothers?
Yeah.
I never connected that. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we never say it.
Right.
Yeah,
They
it's
both have the
assumed.
same last name. One's Vincent, one's Vic.
Could tell they were probably raised by the same people.
Yeah. And I actually even had a title for it. It was called Double V Vega.
Double V Vega.
And it actually would have taken place during the time that Vincent was in Amsterdam, when he was running one of Marcellus's clubs in Amsterdam, and Vic goes to visit him. When Vic would be Michael Madsen, and we're all a little older now.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
And since they both died, it would have to be a prequel.
Yeah.
Then
yeah.
I actually came up with a way I could have done it, even with them being older and dead, and I'll be revealing it right now for the first time because I probably won't do it.
Okay.
They all had older brothers, and I would have that both of their brothers got together because of the two guys died, and they wanted revenge or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But then now they're still too old for that.
My girlfriend even pointed out that your violence never seems violent. Like, you have this great way of not being offensive with violence. Like, you put comedy and violence together. Like, Madsen is going to set a guy on fire, and it's chilling and it's awful, and he's singing into a severed ear, and it's hilarious. He's talking to a severed ear. It's amazing how you mix comedy and violence and both work.
Well, it's that's kind of actually. I think if you boil down everything I'm trying to do, that if you get it down to the final pearl that's left in the clam, it would be I'm going to make you laugh at stuff that's not funny. At the end of the day, that's the pearl. That what I'm trying to do at the end of the day. And so I'm also it's kind of almost what Grindhouse is all about. Is we're trying to orchestrate the audience. So it's like laugh, laugh, laugh. Stop laughing. Stop laughing. Stop laughing. Now you're really not laughing. Laugh now. All right. And then when you feel that in the audience, it's like you're a conductor.
There's a scene in Reservoir Dogs that I think is brilliant, and it's not like a very well-known scene, one of the scenes that people quote or something, but it brings the horror of what's going on with Michael Madsen and Nash inside the funeral home. When he walks out to get the gas, it's just this horror going on inside. And he opens the door, it's bright, you hear children playing, birds tweeting, and it brings the reality of it right to you, because you could be standing out there, you could be playing ball or just walking in a park, and yards away from you the ultimate nightmare is going on. And I thought that was amazing. It just brought it made it so real.
Thank you very much. Actually, that is one of my very favorite things about the movie, is actually that one part of that shot when because it's it's unbroken for a while,
right?
Yeah. And he just walks outside and it's like, whoa! You don't even realize how claustrophobic you become in there, and then it is like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah, it was like a Dorothy coming out of the house and all its color. It's like in color
actually,
again.
There even is, and it was actually recorded in a park. There actually is, if you listen really closely, you can tell that there's like a father teaching two little kids how to play catch. You hear him like, 2 hands, honey, 2 hands.
It's just such a great, beautiful outside moment, and just the ultimate horror going on.
And I like
loved it.
that you hear the music and then it's off for that whole time.
Right, yeah.
And then Susie opens her, you're
comes back
into
and you're like,
this
oh no.
video from hell.
It's like I was out of it for a minute. Oh no, I'm back.